Good morning.
Welcome
Follow up.
to Wednesday Morning Live.
That's what it is. It's early.
It's real early.
It's real early.
But today's going to be super practical.
Yes.
Because last week, Kevin started us on this topic of work as worship, viewing our work as a mission field, viewing our work as a way to honor God.
And today, we're going to try to make some practical tips, points, some things that we've heard from some of you
Right.
about how you can put this into practice at work.
How can I be a witness at my work? What does it look like for me to be evangelistic, but not be that weird Christian that nobody wants to talk to?
Doing the Jesus juke.
Yeah, don't be Jesus juking. We had to explain that last week to Sue, and she still was under the impression that that's a very good thing.
She likes it.
Kevin and I acted it out for her to see that you can overdo the Jesus juke. That's neither here nor there. But our plan is to give you some really practical ways that you can be a gospel witness at work in a way that doesn't actually repel people. Because I'll be real with you. There's some people who I've worked with who can repel you from Christ in the way that they're always like, you need to come to my church, you need to come to my church. If that's your only avenue of witnessing to people, they get tired of that.
And then there's the opposite side of that. I worked with a gentleman that after several months, I invited him to church, and he said, oh, well, why don't you come to my church? I'm head usher. And when I say cuss like a sailor, I'm telling you.
You're a Christian?
Yeah, it was legit. So, like, there are two spectrums to that.
Right. So what we want is we want to be salt and light, but we also don't want to be that Christian who's on the news because they got fired because they were just constantly berating people and turning everything into I'm allowed. There's a lot of things I'm allowed to do at work at FedEx. But I also want to be respectful and do it. I want to be evangelistic in a way where I don't lose credibility or influence with people. I'm constantly who they come to when they have needs. So Pastor Kevin and I are going to go through some ideas. Go ahead.
We're going to try to do it from like office settings, so white collar, blue collar, no matter where you are.
If I own my own
try
business,
to find
what does it
something
look
that
like?
we can.
What if I have employees? So let's start with your first one there.
I think my favorite one, I'm going to take it because I know you want it. We have a gentleman in our church who drives dump trucks. Many of you know him, Terry Anderson.
Blue collar.
And one time we had our big grand opening here, and he took our yard sign, taped it to his truck.
Yeah.
And that was the billboard. And we actually had a couple people attend church who said, I saw it on a dump truck.
So Terry knows he doesn't work at a desk where he could put a little sign up, come to me with church. But he's like, 100 people see the back of my dump truck every day, so I'm just going to put it back there and honk and wave at people.
And he was able to invite people on the job site to church as a result.
And he was driving very carefully that week.
That's right.
He was honoring God.
No yelling out the window.
That's right. No.
Did not give any gestures.
So if you're in a blue collar environment where maybe you don't see people all the time, right? You're driving a truck by yourself. You can be a gospel witness by putting a bumper sticker, a sign. Yeah. But what good is that if you're cutting people off, angrily showing them, the finger?
Yeah. Tailgating.
Yeah, exactly.
You're number one.
Exactly. So, hold on. Hey man, are you looking for Fastenal? Yeah. Next door.
One over.
Yeah.
But they open at 7 a.m., just so you know. So you may have to wait a little while.
Have they seen behind the curtain? Is the gig up?
I'm not sure. I had somebody ask me last week.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was at a funeral.
Were you here?
I was at a funeral.
Absolutely.
And somebody was like, Mark, how do you guys get up so early? I was like, anyways, so
super early. Got
why
my water.
do we leave the doors unlocked so early in the morning? What is wrong with us?
Well, we always want to be open because
That's
if
right.
we're going to tell them,
how to witness,
then we're going to smile at them and we're going to point where to go. That's what you should do.
All right. So maybe you drive a delivery truck, right? You work at FedEx. Lewis just retired from FedEx. One of the things Lewis would do is when he would go to places, man, he would always be high energy, loving on people, hitting them up with conversations. And he was never afraid to say, man, well, I go to church. And when somebody would say something, he'd be like, well, I'm going to pray for you. I'm part of a small group. We're going to pray for your daughter because that sounds terrible. So when he was investing in people's lives, it gave him an opportunity to be a gospel light and a gospel witness just by talking.
And maybe you say, well, I'm not sure that I'm allowed to pray at my work. Okay, well, that's fine.
That's right.
Ask.
That's right.
Is it okay if I pray for you?
That's right.
Look, nobody's going to get upset about you asking them a question.
That's right. What we didn't say was, I'm going to pray for you. Lord, this person... No, stop, stay still. That's not what we're describing here.
We're in a safe environment. This is fun. Josh Graver mentioned that he leaves a Bible on his desk.
He works in the military, and he's got a desk where lots of people come by his office. He will have his Bible on his desk, and it's just a clear signal. Hey, if you ever want to ask a question, I'm a Christian. You could. And another thing he does is he doesn't have control over the sound system for like the office, but he has sound for his office. So he plays Christian music, you know, and it's probably not Christian heavy metal. It's not anything like belligerent. It's just clearly a different sound or a different message than what they might hear somewhere else.
And not so loud that it's overwhelming.
That's right.
And not so soft that you can't hear it, but it's soothing. And there is something to listening to that and having that. Another idea that was shared with us is just having a church invite card at all times to hand out, but also just laying on the edge of your desk, laying where it's visible for individuals.
And then if they ask about it, you're like, gotcha, you got to take it.
Right.
You got to put it in your pocket.
And let me pray over you while we're at it. Look, a very simple one, and I know finances can eliminate some of these things, but simple breakfast. Our intern brought in a dozen bagels the other day from Panera, and they were like $6 or something.
Breakfast.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So if the intern can do that for people like us, what could you do for your coworkers?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
and be
James,
the guy
we loved it, and thank you, and you're welcome to do it again.
Anytime. But no, be that coworker who's always being generous, bringing in, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. Mm-hmm. It could be a dozen donuts just for you and a few coworkers. Mm-hmm. It could be something even smaller, you know, some little Reese's Pieces around this time of year. A little.
Look, man, this past Sunday we had our team leader pre-huddle at 8:45. And then we have students.
I was a bad employee. I actually forgot about that. I showed up late. So I was not a good employee this week at all.
But we had our guest services huddle. And by the time it was all said and done, we had 7 dozen donuts brought this Sunday by team members to be able to share.
And then we chastised them. Take those to work, not to church.
Yes. But man, something simple, something cheap, just so you're thinking about people. Maybe even texting like, hey, I'm stopping to grab $1 coffee at McDonald's. You want me to grab you something?
Yeah. If your desk is the one with all the sweets all the time, people are going to stop by.
That's exactly right.
They don't want to talk to you. Let me get that. They're going to wait until you're not there. Yeah. So if you're in an office environment, there are ways. Yeah. There are simple ways to put things out, to be kind and generous.
And even in blue collar, man, you can bring breakfast. Everybody can eat a donut while they're walking to the job.
You can take donuts to the landscape crew.
Simple things. Yep.
Yeah. So let's go that route now. Let's talk your blue collar, maybe in a you own your own business type of setting. Yeah. You own a landscape business. That's more your cup of tea. So tell me, what are some ways you could love on your employees or your coworkers? You always want to be that guy. And I have guys that work with me, so I want to be that guy, and I've told them like straight up, like there are days that I struggle. This past week I ran out of gas in my truck, and my helper was in the truck, and this guy behind me starts laying on the horn because I didn't quite get out of the road. God bless him.
And so I got out and I ran out of gas.
What's wrong with you?
My helper's eyes got really big, and the person in the car was just like, but so I say that, but man, being that guy, being the guy that when they get to work, you're thankful that they're there. Mm-hmm. Maybe even giving opportunity to somebody who isn't gifted in what you're doing. But you give them the opportunity because you know that they've fallen on hard times and they need some financial, and they need to feel worthwhile.
Right.
And look, just having that opportunity to give that to somebody so that they feel like they're worth something, they have value, they have meaning. That's huge. And then just being the person that's going to be encouraging, that's going to be smiling, and going to be asking them, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, what's going on in your life?
And when you're the boss, if you run your own company, you have that, you're allowed to be that guy. Like, hey, because you're setting the culture, the temperature of that business. If it's a small business running lawn care, or even a big business with dozens or hundreds of employees, you want to be the guy that everyone knows, he's not just checking on me to make sure I perform.
Yeah.
He's checking on me because he genuinely cares about what's going on in my life. He genuinely cares. She genuinely cares about, not just my 8 hours here, my 10 hours here, but how I'm doing, and you're not prodding. You're not saying, well, I want to know what's going on in your marriage, buddy.
That'll be found out. I mean, they'll know if you're real or not.
That's right.
But if you have a true concern, and then just having a simple smile on your face, man, like that goes so far.
That's why I keep my fake smile at all times, buddy. I got it ready to throw out anytime y'all need it. Just throw it on.
Even at church conferences, they'll have big name speakers come in from secular workplaces who have big businesses, and they will tell you the environment that you establish around you you. And they say in our culture, we give high fives, we give fist bumps, and we're always smiling at each other as coworkers, because when our customers come in, we want them to know that this is a place that is enjoyable. And so being that guy with the smile on your face, even when somebody's looking at you and chewing you out, it's the being able to take it. So just keep a smile on your face.
It's true, man. And along those lines, let's kind of switch over to maybe you're in a position where either you own the company or you're like the manager who has lots of people you're responsible for. And so you do have a crazy job. You've got lots of employees, multiple people looking to you, and it is super stressful. Maybe you've got pressure from above you and below you. You do have to work hard in that case to create that culture, to maintain that attitude. But one of the things we always try to encourage guys to do is, if you have the resource, like let's say you're the highest paid guy there, or you're the owner of the company, and these are your employees and they're making you money, you should be more than just like, hey, hope you're doing well. You should be extremely generous. If we're asking like everyday coworkers to bring donuts, if you run a company and these are people who are making you money, you should be willing to like, look, I'm just going to say it. You should take them to nice lunches. You should pay for things occasionally. You should, not to where people are dependent on you and you're paying their bills, but you should be extremely generous to people who are working hard and providing a good, like if they're a good employee, we want to keep those employees. We want to make sure that they are well taken care of and also know that they're valued. So don't just give them stuff like, here, a good job last quarter. Like, actually tell them like, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. I've noticed how much you care. And so, man, we're going to cover you and your wife going on a little trip, whatever it is. You can be as creative as you want when you've got money to throw at it. Okay. And that is part of, you want to be the person that 10 years from now, people say, the best boss I ever had, the best owner of a business I ever worked for was this lady, was this dude. And then suddenly, your witness is taken so much more seriously when they have seen you live out generosity in a biblical way. You are not just using them to make money. Now that you've made money, you are freely, like open-handed in such a way. And they see you not just being generous with them, but they see you being generous with people that they know, man, could never repay you. The higher we kind of work in our careers, the more I think we should be disciplined at maintaining that level of generosity, because everybody's going to be generous when they're rich until they're rich and they're not. Like everybody's going to be generous with someone else's money, but then when it's their money, they're like, I got to worry about things. Like, don't buy into the lie that, man, I got to conserve, I got to be careful. There are good biblical principles, and then there's generosity, and they work hand in hand.
And be honest. Honesty goes so far. If something happens at work and it was on you, take responsibility.
Ooh, man, that's I'd rather give away a prize than
I'm with you, but like that's a struggle. And then let other people have the win, because I even here at church, we try to use the word we when we discuss things. Now, it may have been Pastor Mark who did this specific flyer that went out and he did all the work. But we try to communicate as we created this flyer so that we can hand it out.
I come in every Monday and I'm like, we preached a good sermon yesterday, didn't we, guys?
we really put that together well. But everything that happens, and don't be afraid to let a coworker, to let an employee, to let somebody take credit for a job that was done, even if you feel like you did the majority of the work. Because look, for my ego, I need it, right? But in the grand realm of life, the grand scheme of life, is it really that big of a deal? And so give wins away. Let other people get credit for jobs that are done, because that will come back. They will remember that.
Right. I want to say something that we do as a church that is specific to us. We certainly push invite cards. They are on the wall. We want you to take invite cards and invite people to church. But we also know that there are a lot of people that if you just hand them an invite to church, they're going to be like, I don't know. Those are the people that Fall Festival is perfect for. Some of you have friends who, they're probably not as inclined to come into church. We should still pray for them and witness when we can and invite them. But we know that if we invite them to Fall Festival, which is bounce houses, trunk or treat, their kids dress up, they're more likely to come to that. Why do we do Fall Festival? Is it because we like spending money on bounce houses? Not really. I can go to a birthday party and jump on a bounce house.
We like watching kids. Not really my thing.
We love our children.
We love kids. We don't like watching kids.
Why do we do these things? Because there are people in this community who are far more inclined to come to a fall festival, and it happens every year. We'll have hundreds of kids on property the Saturday before, but then the next Sunday there'll be people. Man, people are so friendly. I thought, if I'm going to go to church, this is the type of church I want to come to. And guess what? We always start a new series that is gospel-centered and really focused on somebody who might not know the Lord. And suddenly, what's even easier than inviting them to church is, hey, our church is having a fall festival. It's free for the kids. There's going to be prizes, hay rides. Guys, those are easy wins, easy handouts. And so for me, when we push those types of things, those would be the things that I'm sharing on Facebook. Those would be the things that I'm inviting my coworkers to. Because even somebody who hates the idea of going to church, they'll go to a fall festival to get a picture with a pumpkin with their 2-year-old, you know? And it's an opening to a door, to a conversation. Then, oh man, I met your pastor, Pastor Kevin. He was really nice. Like, he's not like a lot of pastors I've talked to. And you're just like, yeah, man, I know.
And then we're like, we're all nice. We are all nice.
Yeah,
we are all nice.
And we all get the win.
We win. Yep. And, you know, as you share things on social media and as you hand out those cards, if you're going to turn around and be that coworker that's not easy to get along with,
please don't. We want to, like, we don't know you. We've never met you. Who? Oh, no, they've never been here. I don't know them at all.
I know that with a lot of businesses, we're going more towards relaxed dress code.
Casual.
Casual.
And we're super traditional here. That's why Kevin and I are dressed up right now.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, I'm wearing a tie because I wear a tie every day to the office. Kevin does too.
I won't even show you the hole in my shorts right now.
Whoa.
Stand behind.
Whoa.
Because these are my nice ones.
We don't wear shorts to the office, by the way. Well, it is 6 a.m., so maybe.
But you can wear your church shirt. Somebody brought that up.
That's
recently.
a great idea.
They said, wear your church shirt to work. Or if you're going to be on a conference call with some locals, wear your church shirt and put the one with the big R so they can be like, what's that stand for?
No, you're right. There's some guys who, they work at the shipyard and they're allowed to wear what they want to work. They're going to be getting dirty. So, look, we give our church t-shirts out because we want you to wear them, not to wear them.
You get a church shirt after you go through Life Track, by the way.
Yes.
You're welcome, Charlene.
Go to Life Track.
Okay.
Yeah, Life Track. Get in there. But wear your church shirt. When I go to work at FedEx, I'm allowed to wear what I want. So I wear a Restore t-shirt. Now, a lot of the guys in the dock know I'm a pastor. Not all of them. We got some new employees. And so they'll be like, hey, what's that about? Well, it's where I go to church. It's where I pastor. And it's a conversation starter. And we've got all kinds of shirts here. Some of them say, I love Portsmouth. And people are like, why do you love Portsmouth? Well, we love Portsmouth because we believe Jesus has called us to reach people who are hard and far from Jesus. And, you know, it's just an easy way, whether you make it a corny conversation or not, to start a conversation. And so, man, wear a shirt.
Yeah.
We got hats. We got, you know.
We got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then, look, just be good at building others up.
Oh, your coffee mug. You could put that on your
Absolutely.
desk.
Yeah,
this
you
is
get
not
those,
my Restore one, but we have
get
them.
those by attending Life Track as well.
Hold up. What's up? Bam.
That's right.
There.
With pins. You can share pins out of your coffee cup.
That was bad. That was really bad. I'm sorry.
But let's work to be the individuals who build others up.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're not in a boss position,
right?
You can still encourage your coworker.
That's right.
Man, you did a really good job today. I'm working to catch up with your productivity or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we can be the encourager. We can be the person who's building up because that encourager, oftentimes that's the person we want to be around. But so why not be the person?
And don't wait. Look, start today. You're brushing your teeth. Go to work and be that person today.
Yeah.
Build a level of trust with people to where when they see a church poster on your wall, when they see a coffee mug about your church, there's a level of...
They're like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, it makes sense that person has a Bible. Mm-hmm. They're actually living it. Don't be that person like, the Bible? What's this guy up to?
Because then they look and they're like, I knew that's how Christians
Another
were.
hypocrite. Yeah. Another hypocrite. All right, y'all. Anything
Super
else?
practical. This is just some things that many of you shared with us and that we've seen lived out in some of your lives.
Yeah. They work. There are literally people who got saved at our church.
Conversation starters.
Yeah,
just
because of their
have
coworkers.
a conversation starter for these things.
Now go do it. All right.
Yeah. Have a good morning. If you can get a nap in, get a nap in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, get a shower, brush your teeth, eat breakfast.
Be that
grab
employee.
a dozen donuts. Go
be
to work.
Be the gospel witness at work.
Yep.
And we'll be praying for you.
We'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him saved for about 12 years now. So
One day.
Pray for me.
One day.
All right, y'all.
Have a good day.
Fastenal, why you got to roll up the door while we're recording a video?
Man, why are they here so early?
Man.